Hello, Facebook family. I am so excited about our upcoming talk with Miss Rachael Hanible. As you can see, it has been a busy morning, but I am excited about this talk, and I see she is on. Hey, girl. Hey. We're about to go ahead and get this started. I'm just gonna get somewhere where I am not interrupted. Hey! Back again.
Back again.
How has your day been?
Great. How about you?
You know, it's been a wonderful day. It's been quite busy. I'm getting to my car.
Okay.
This morning, our organization is partnered. So they're having this big holiday festival in Hyde Park in Chicago. And we donated books and are giving away free books and meeting family. So it's been really cool. And so when I left, I meant to leave earlier. They have pictures with Santa, and Santa just got there. So the kids went crazy. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I bet.
But I made it. So I am so excited about this conversation. I have been waiting on this for a minute. So I was like, I gotta go, you all. I gotta go. So first, let me say, just so everyone can kind of get a little context about, and then you as well, what we do on this workshop.
Oh, you went out. How come you went out? How come I can't hear you? There you go.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay,
Yeah, there you go.
okay. Something going on. So I was saying that I was really excited about this segment because part of it is just been reaching out to different authors in the field, because I want kids to know that if you aspire to do it, you can attain it as well. And then also, I wanted to not lose opportunities to talk to amazing people just because they didn't live in Chicago. So I can tell people a little bit how I learned about Rachael is that one of my best friends, she's always sending me information about different authors, and she's like, Jarema, you got to get in contact with her. Like, I think she would be perfect for the show. And so I was really impressed about what you're writing about and what you're doing. And so I'm really excited about this time. And so if you can just kind of give people a little bit background about who are you, like how did you come to this space, and just a little bit of background about who you are.
Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm
Yes.
excited, looking forward to sitting down and talking to you for a little while now. I know
Yeah,
we
like a
were
little over a couple of months.
Yeah, I know we were going back and forth for a little while,
Yeah,
and I just love what you're doing. I love your vision,
thank you.
and I really want you to be encouraged to just keep going with it and to be consistent with it. And I'm excited to even be a part of this great vision.
Thank you so much.
So, my name is Rachael, as you already mentioned. I am an inspirational speaker. I am an author, and I am also a mentor. So I am a personal finance coach as well, and I teach millionaires in training classes to teenagers and to adults who in churches and schools and nonprofit organizations, just various places that doesn't have normally teach or speak on financial literacy too often. And then I also have Amber's Magical Savings Box classes that I have for kids ages 10 and under, where I basically travel and basically do the same thing, but kind of bring it to their level and incorporate the book with it as well.
Gotcha.
So, yep, that's basically who I am.
That's what's up. So, can you just tell us, like, what led you to write the book? And then we'll get a little bit more about what the book's about. But just like, what even led you to want to write this book?
So, I mentioned earlier that I'm a personal finance coach for adults, which basically just includes the accountability that normally doesn't come along with just having a financial advisor. Normally, financial advisors, you only talk to them one time and then they kind of never see you again. But as a coach, there's more of accountability month to month, week to week, just making sure you are reaching your short-term and long-term financial goals. But during that time of being a financial coach, it's been a few years for me now, I've noticed that a lot of the habits that we create or our relationship with money comes from things that we experience at a really young age, or things that we may have heard, things we may have seen, conversations we may have overheard, maybe. And we begin to build a relationship with money off of that. So during my sessions, especially if I have parents as clients, I try to do something to bring the children into the conversation as well. And I was looking for a resource. I was looking for a book to share with my clients to say, as we're going through this, maybe you want to buy this for your son or for your daughter. And after going in a few bookstores and not seeing something that taught them what I felt like they needed to know. Just right outside in the parking lot of the bookstore, I just started writing this book because I just believe that you should create what you want to see, it's really really important. So I had no intentions on writing a book. It wasn't like a long thought out process, a deep process that I know a lot of people really go through. That was February of this year. The book was released March 25th of this year.
Wow, that is really, really great. And just even hearing like what inspired you, because I just think about, for me, for example, I have a financial advisor, but I never thought about like, okay, at the end of the day, I'm learning these tools, but then the reason I have a financial advisor is because I have bad habits when it comes to money, right? And so having my child, because I have a 7-year-old, just I've already been thinking about like, man, what are ways that he can avoid a lot of the pitfalls that I made, and just learning those tips. And so it just, I really love the fact that you're like, man, I'm coaching the parents, but I also feel like you should be coaching the children, so that hopefully by the time they get to our age, they know the tools and they know the tips that can help them to not make unwise decisions. So I guess that kind of leads to my next question. Like, what are some of the tips that you would say that you could start? I mean, and I know it's like a gamut of things depending on the age, but like, what would you say would be like a really 1 or 2 quick tips parents should be thinking about when it comes to helping their child better understand money?
Well, we definitely, one thing that I have noticed, that a lot of parents want to protect their children from this conversation of money, and they kind of don't discuss certain things around money. It's like a whisper around the house sometimes. But I think that, when the child asks for in the store, mommy or daddy, can I have this or can I have that? It's normally just a yes or a no. I normally encourage parents to say, explain why this week we may be able to get it and next week we may not be able to, or the other way around. Maybe this week we're not able to get it and maybe next week we are. Give them a little bit more, not just a yes or no. Also teach kids how to read price tags. Of course, you know how much it is, but ask them, how much is it? If you're standing there, you can't just ask me for something and not even know the value of it. Just understanding the value of a dollar, understanding the numbers that are under that item that you're asking for. They mean something. So just things like that, understanding that just the small things kind of start a ripple effect of questions that just leads to the conversation. I think a lot of parents don't really know how to start the conversation. But there's those small things in those moments that starts the ball rolling for the conversation.
Yeah, something you said that really stuck out to me is that my son, because he's the only child, Walmart is like I don't know, like we go there for, so he just knows we're in there to get a toy. That's what he equates Walmart to. And I just realized, like, so many times we were going there, he's like, man, Mom, can I get this? Can I get this? And as a parent, you get frustrated, right? Like, we did not come in here to get that, or we didn't come in here to do that. But it just made so much sense. Like, but are you explaining to him what's the purpose of this trip? Or are you explaining to him, man, you know what, last time I was able to get a toy, but this time I wasn't? And so many times I think as parents we operate on like do as I say, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to understand, just I said no, so just no, or I said yes. But them understanding like, hey, it's close to the holidays, it's a lot going on, like, you know, and not necessarily, and I think sometimes as parents we feel like we want to protect them from like if we can't financially provide it. But I think this them just getting in the mindset of understanding that money is not just something you could just gravitate to and just spend it, right? Like just having those conversations early on. Like my son did not know that Amazon was connected to my debit card, so he's like, just go to Amazon, just go to Amazon. I'm like, yeah, but this time Amazon not gonna get nothing because mom won't have it. So just like having those conversations early, I really, really love. So I know you said that it started with just, and Shamira, who's on the line, is actually my best friend, the one who connected me to you. So
Hi,
hey, Shamira, you created this, girl. You created it.
Shamira.
So I guess just what you said, like, man, creating what you didn't see, which I think is so amazing. Kind of like spurs on why I'm doing what I'm doing, like creating spaces that I don't see for, you know, Black and brown kids. But there's always challenges, right? So even with
Right.
creating the book and saying like, hey, I didn't see this book here and I want to create it, like what were some of the challenges along the way of trying to create this type of book?
Well, I would say the book was fairly easy for me to write. Again, from the perspective of being a financial coach, I already know which pieces of the puzzle was missing.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me a lot. Writing it was only a few days,
Got oh
about three and a
wow.
half days. The difficult part for me with this particular project, here's the book. Amber's Magical Savings Box. Amber is the main character. Amber was actually in honor of my niece Amber, and she passed away here in Philadelphia at the age of 3.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to get a brown girl to that looks like, like the kind of personify Amber who she was.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually found a young lady. She was all the way from Nigeria,
Oh wow.
and she's in Nigeria now. And she is a great artist, and she helped. Most of the difficult part was the going back and forth with her
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of the time difference. So she would send me images, and it's like 2 a.m. for me.
Oh wow.
But she really didn't want to get Amber wrong. She wanted it to, she understood. I told her the story behind who Amber was, and she wanted it to be a certain way. And that, I think, was the hardest part, the going back and forth and making sure
Mm-hmm.
the images were the way that I had envisioned for them to be. But after that, that was, after that, it was just, let's get them on the shelves, let's get them out there, let's get them on Amazon. So I think for me, especially when you have children's books, like the illustrations is the biggest part. The
Yeah.
kids are going to look at the picture, they're going to look at the cover, they're going to look at it,
Mm-hmm.
all those things. So just making it to be about, the toy is a magical toy. So that can fit, boys, girls, older kids, whatever your magical thing is that you have your eye on, or whatever, on the commercials that you're currently looking at. So it's something that can live on, that can be timeless. Whereas if I would have chosen a particular toy that is significant to today,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 20 years from now, the kids are not going to be able to, and that's something you want to do. And I know this is fast forward to another question you
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
in the
It's
future, but
perfect. Yep.
what you want to do is, if you're writing, if you want to write, if you feel like you have the gift of writing, or you feel like you have a story to share, or if you feel like you have a piece that is missing in the world, as which we talked about earlier, as far as literature, you want to create something that is timeless,
Mm,
because what we're doing
that.
today,
Yep.
and time is moving, the world is evolving, our kids are growing, our kids are going to have kids, our kids, it's going to keep going.
Yep.
And there are some people who write one book. We're buying books today that was written 30, 40, 50 years ago. And you want to create something like that. When you
Yep.
work hard on birthing a vision of this, magnitude, that's something that's going to forever be somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gonna forever have your name on it, and you want it to be impactful, whether someone picks it up 20 years from now, whether someone finds it in their grandmom's closet when she passes, whatever the case may be, you want it to be something that is relevant in that moment. So there were certain keys and certain points of the book where I mentioned how Amber loves going to the mall because of the colorful people. So I involve inclusion. There's just certain little key points in there that's like that's timeless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something that will always be. You know, the idea of saving money and documenting that's something that will always be.
Yeah.
We will always have magical things that we would like to have, we aspire to have. There will always be something that we will have our eye on, something shiny, something, it just gets bigger and bigger and better, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that was the challenge, but that was also the greatest gift is to be able to offer something that is consistently giving through our generations.
I love that. That definitely went to my next one, but I think that it just makes sense. Like if you're writing, whatever you're doing, you want to create something that's going to leave an impression, right? And also, like you said, that 20, 30 years from now, my grandkids could be using this book, right? And whoever can use this book, and they won't be turned off because of maybe the words that are used or the images, but like, man, I really can connect to this book, whatever. So that is an amazing tip. So those who are trying to be writers, trying to do anything, actually, you want to create a product that is going to be outlast you, right? You want something that's going to continue to give and give. And then just those little things, just like thinking about imagery. It's so true, like especially working with children, like the images speak everything, right? And so a lot of times in our book club meetings, that's what helps the kids to really grasp what's going on. Like they can read it, but then they see the picture and it makes it come alive, and just being able to capture that. I'm glad you and the young lady was able to connect. So that's really cool.
Yeah, what, something I didn't pay attention to, I kind of looked back and realized that a lot of the books that I loved to read when I was a kid, but none of the main characters in those books I loved were brown. So to now have something and to see children, I receive like emails, I receive videos, I receive like, inboxes of children all over, all different races, all different colors, all different backgrounds, loving on Amber, saying how beautiful she is and stuff like that. And that was like, wow, here we have this image of this young Black girl who is trying to be responsible, who is trying to get ahead of the curve, who is trying to, not take the elevator, who's trying to take the stage, you know what I mean? And that's something that didn't hit me in the beginning, but it definitely, after seeing certain pictures and videos and stuff, it's like, wow, now that I think about it, all the books that I remember that I love, either the favorite character was even an animal, a colorful animal, or a little white kid, a little white kid. So I'm happy that I've been able to create something that our brown children can look at, and even maybe even change the way that other children look at brown children. You just never know.
Exactly. I love it. I speak with this all the time. Like a part of our initiative with Burst into Books is our title is remixing the narrative, changing the narratives. I think just like changing what is common, right? So commonly we don't hear, unfortunately, maybe like conversations that deal with money in our families that are creating legacy or investments, but we can create that new system, right? We can create those new images. And like you said, people seeing the book and connecting, man, someone who's being responsible with their money is this little Black girl, which is amazing, right? And so I want to kind of segue into, which, as you all can tell, Rachel is extremely humble and loving and all that, but her book is #1 on Amazon. Okay, so that in itself, when Shamira sent me this picture, I'm like, wait, first of all, not only is the book about Black girl magic, the author is exhibiting Black girl magic, right? So she is an author, a Black woman who created this book that's #1 on Amazon. So I want to know, like, what was your feeling? I mean, being #1 of anything, it's like this, you get this brush, but like, what did you feel like once it got on Amazon and then you found out it was #1? What did you feel about that?
I don't really know how to describe it because it makes sense if it was like a plan, but there was never a plan. It's like, um, I didn't have a marketing team. I didn't have like this social media strategy. I would forget the hashtag it. It was like terrible. Right? Like all the stuff that they say, these are the ways that you get up there. I completely forgot or totally ignored or didn't think to do any of those things whatsoever. Um, but I do remember getting up really, really early in the morning and calling into a New York radio station, Power 105.3, and they have this segment called "Get Off Your Chest," and people call it about all types of stuff, and it's only about the first half hour, but it's like from 6 a.m. to 6:30, and people always complain about never getting through, and I felt like God was saying, "Call them." And I did. I had never called. I'm like, what? And I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I had never called
Like, just
anything like
obey.
that before.
Yep.
And the first day, I didn't get through. And I was like, see, I already knew I wasn't going to. I got up early the next morning again. And once again, God said, call them. And I got through. And I'm still laying in bed. I didn't expect to even get through. So I hadn't rehearsed what to say. I didn't. Like, I'm trying to clear my throat. They put me on hold really quickly. And I'm like live on the air. And I feel like God just gave me the words to say. And I'm saying I have this book, it's on Amazon. It's about earning and saving money. And they're like, oh, really? That sounds cool. And I get off, I get dressed and go to work. By the time I drove to work, it was on the Amazon's bestsellers list.
Wow.
And it didn't even hit me yet that I had even been on the radio. Like some people were calling me. It's like, I'm in New York. I just heard you on the radio.
That's
I was like, yeah, that's me. And so it wasn't a plan. It wasn't like we're gonna have this moment that I think I'm gonna be a bestseller. I didn't even have like a celebration because it wasn't even, you know what I mean? And just to know that I was getting all these tags, people were like, I just purchased 2 copies of these, 5 copies of these. I was just getting all these messages from just people all over the world. Amazon Canada, a young lady hit me up from Amazon Canada. She said, I just ordered your book. It takes a little while because I'm in Canada. But I was,
wow.
oh my goodness, and that just speaks to when you do something from your heart with the right motive, with the right, intention. There was never like, this book is going to make me famous.
Yep.
There was always something is needed here. There's a missing piece. I think I can fill this void. And it's just been great people such as yourself, such as your best friend, who have seen it, who have heard about it, and it's like, this is needed in our community. I'm going to help you spread the word, Rachel. I'm going to be your marketing team because, again, I don't
Right,
have a
right.
marketing team, no type of strategy whatsoever. I just kind of like wake up and post when I can. And great people such as yourself and so many people just all around the world have been saying, I'm going to rally around this initiative. And it shot from number 3 to number 1 and even took up 2 spots on the bestsellers list. The ebook was number 1 and then the paperback was number 4. And there are certain moments, to answer your question of how does it feel, it didn't come in one wave of a moment. You know what I mean? I remember getting an oil change and the gentleman saying, my daughter has your book on her iPad. And I'm like, what? You sure? And he's like calling my fiance, I'm pretty sure I just saw my daughter with your book in it. So there's certain moments you're like,
Wow,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
Amber is really, really making her way around the world and is really, really empowering young people to make smarter decisions with their money. So I can't even explain the feeling.
That is so, so amazing. I mean, I I'm like speechless. I think the first thing I thought about is like divine connections are all that, right? And I have been like so blown away by it. And just even talking to you earlier, we share this connection and that I believe that you obey God. Like you obey what he says and he leads your way and he's going to make that thing clear and he understands if it's coming from a pure heart. And so I think just even hearing your story is like, man, I didn't do this for me, right? Like I did this because I saw a need, I saw something that was lacking, I created it, and then God He's like, put that out there and I'm gonna take care of it, and just if I say do it, and just seeing how it's working. So I'm just excited to see like what is to come and what is going to come, and that just kind of leads me to my next thing. Like, what is your next thing? Like, what do you feel like is the continuation of this, or do you feel like, man, like you said, this is timeless, this is just what I'm gonna do, or do you feel like there's more there is to be done?
I definitely want to definitely continue to do my millionaires in training classes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm revamping my Amber's Magical Savings classes. The children really love it. They create their magical boxes and they create a one thing that they would like to save towards, and they kind of put it in the box and they create a goal. Some goals are bigger than others. One young lady said, "How do you spell Lamborghini?"
Hey, I like how she think Lamborghini.
I was
Okay,
like, okay.
girl. Okay.
So I'm definitely, oh my goodness. I was like, we're just gonna write down one thing on this piece of paper. She's like, oh, okay. How do you
Right.
spell?
I like that.
The next thing was like, okay, so how do you spell mansions? I spelled Lamborghini for her. Did you want to spell
Wow.
mansion? So I'm definitely revamping the Amber's Magical Savings Box classes, and I want it to be something that we can do virtually, so I can reach my young people in
Yeah.
Chicago and other places. So because again, young people learn from the repetition of
Mm-hmm.
things and the interaction of things, and the book is interactive too. And I think that's another thing that kind of sets it aside from other books. It's not just something you read at nighttime story and then go to bed. Like, no, there's work that the children have to do in the book that I think also helps them carry on that idea, that concept of money from day to day, because it takes a little while for you to get through the work. Um, so I want to widen that out with the interactive portion of just teaching kids about money. And again, the millionaires in training classes are for teenagers and also for adults. And I'm also revamping my personal finance coaching for adults as well. So I'm just ready for 2019 of
Yeah.
this just huge push for our community, for our people, for our future millionaires, just giving them the tools that they need to change our world. I do believe they are the chosen generation, but I believe that they need those tools
Mm-hmm.
to know what to do to change our world for the better, because the world is going to change, but we need to make sure we're going in the right direction.
So
And so I just want to continue to every way I can just kind of give them those tools that they need one by one so they can go forward. So I'm really excited about what's going on in 20 for
yeah,
2019.
that is what's up.
And I got to get to
You gotta get here,
Chicago.
girl. I don't think you should come now. It's kind of cold, but
No.
summertime aside, I'm telling you, come here in the summertime. I will show you a good time, Rachel. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Even if you come now, I'll show you a good time. But the summer is a little less brutal. Right now, it's not the best time to come.
Okay.
um,
I hold you to that.
yes, please do, please do. I was gonna ask because it's always like our ending, like kind of close question of just like what ways has reading do you feel like impact you, and also like who are some of your favorite authors? And so just thinking about your upbringing, is there like a book that stands out to you, and then also how has reading impacted your life?
Well, reading has been always one of my favorite things to do. Even beyond watching TV, even as a kid, if you gave me a choice between watching TV and reading, probably gonna read.
Mm.
Even now, I don't watch TV as an adult. I read a lot now. It was a way of opening up my mind to another world, because growing up, everything was in a 4 block radius. My home, my elementary school, my church,
Mm.
so everything, you didn't really you didn't have too many opportunities to go outside of that neighborhood. And so reading allowed me to see there's another
Yeah.
world. There are a lot of possibilities, and it just kind of like unlocked different things for me to explore. And I would say growing up, one of my favorite books was, I don't know if you remember this, but it's like a caterpillar book. And I don't know why, because it's not a lot of words in it, But to me, it seemed like really deep. Because
Mm,
this caterpillar is like, oh, and then he blossoms. He goes through all these moments,
mm.
and then he blossoms into this. For whatever reason, that book's always sticks with me.
Ain't nothing wrong with
But
that.
now, okay, cool. But now, as an adult, I love Tony Robbins.
Mm,
Anything he writes is just amazing to me. Susie Orman, I just love her principles on money. Oh my goodness, Mark Lamont Hill. There's so many
yeah,
people.
yeah.
John Maxwell, who does the seven principles, successful people.
Mm-hmm.
I love anything he writes. So Iyanla Vanzant, there's so
Yeah.
many people. I'm definitely one of those people who I like to explore. I'm not necessarily going for the name, or the going for a name, but more so, what can I learn from this? So I
Mm-hmm.
pick up random books from random people who no one knows about. But it helps me. It helps me. And even as a mentor, it helps me. I also believe that sometimes we are a vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not something that helps me directly in the moment. I have young teenage girls who look up to me, and they may be experiencing
Yep.
something that I may have read in a book that I am not. So I believe that we are to pass that information on. So a lot of times, I know when we're looking for books, we're only looking for things that we feel uh, connect to us right now in the moment. And I think that we should kind of widen that out, because you never know, A, what God is preparing you for,
Mm-hmm.
and B, how God is going to use you to just kind of pass down that information to someone else. So.
I love it. Yes, yes, yes. So, I'm so sad it's coming to. I'm like, I gotta think.
We'll be back.
I know we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll do a Chicago version when you here. We be at the same place, okay?
Yeah.
So I want people to be able to know like how to best reach you and contact you. So I personally just Instagram and Facebook stalked her, you all. So we're gonna officially get away that you can contact her. But yeah, can you just share like your information? Like if people want to learn more, if they want to like if they have family in Philly, or if they want to be able to inspire visionary Maryland. Oh yeah, so as you, I don't know if you read the bottom. So my best friend Shamira, so she's in Cleveland actually. Um, she has a daycare at her home, and so she's an amazing educator. So if you are in Cleveland and you need someone, you need to hook up with her. But she
Okay.
just said
Okay.
this for the babies, and she said that in January they're gonna do a unit on financing. On finance,
Awesome.
yeah. So you all have to connect. Y'all have to connect to talk about to break
Yeah.
that down. But how can people reach out to you to learn more about your classes if they want to have you as an inspirational speaker or come and teach? Like, what's the best way to contact you?
So my website is rachelhannibale.com. That's RACHALHANIBLE.com. My Instagram is pep talks underscore, and my Facebook is Rachel
Mm-hmm.
Hannibal. The book,
Yes,
Amber's
yes.
Magical Savings Box, can be purchased anywhere books are sold: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, just iBooks, Google Books, all those places, eBay, anywhere books are sold. You can pick up Amber's Magical Savings Box. If you would like an autographed copy, you can also do that through my website,
Okay.
rachelhannibale.com. All books through my website are signed and shipped from me directly. So
Oh,
if you want a little love note and a signature
yeah.
for your future millionaire, head over to rachelhannibale.com. It's a little link at the top that says click here for Amber's Magical Savings Box, and shoot me an order. I'll shoot it right out to you. But without that, of any other website is fine to order the book.
Oh,
Make sure you leave a review. So far on Amazon, I'm perfect 5-star
oh
review
yes.
for the book.
That is perfect.
So even if you didn't purchase on Amazon and you have a review, leave me a review. I want to hear feedback from everyone. I want to know what you thought about it. So definitely leave me a review on Amazon.
Excellent, excellent. So you got her information. Reach out to her. Get the book. We are actually going to order. I'm going to order one for my son. I want a personal handwrite note. So you'll be getting that.
Awesome.
You'll be getting that today, actually. So his name is James. He is going to be a future millionaire. So I am looking forward to getting your love note to him. But thank you so.
James. His name is James.
His name is James.
That's my favorite male name, James.
Really? Y'all,
I'm never gonna forget that.
James David. James David.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love James. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Rachel, for spending this time with us and coming on and just sharing your wisdom and just sharing your time. I really, really, really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. God bless.
Yes, God bless. So thank you all for tuning in. Talk to you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.